Alright guys, welcome back to Worlds Within Worlds, where we like to break down story plots, character concepts, and basically anything that's in the world building category. And today, we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat 1's new magic system. So, in case you're not really a writer, or not fond of different writing and literature, whenever you're creating a book or a movie or a video game, and you want to come up with your own world, something that goes into place is if your characters have powers, then you call it a power system or a magic system. And you have to come up with basically the rules and the power gauging levels between these different characters and powers. And looking at Mortal Kombat throughout the years, they've always had a magic system, but I would say it was kind of confusing, or maybe not confusing, but it was just kind of all over the place. It wasn't a definitive system going on. Well, if we look at the little information we already have from Mortal Kombat 1, I think they actually have a really well thought out system. So let's break it down. Now, we already know in Mortal Kombat, it seems that the most powerful type of magic or power in itself, whatever, is that from a Titan. And we're not sure if there's Titans in Mortal Kombat 1, although I would argue that Liu Kang is possibly on a Titan type level, but he's still called Fire God Liu Kang. So we're going to say that right now, Liu Kang has the ultimate power. His power, with the help or the aid of a Titan's power, like Chronica's crown, can go across time and dimensions, can recreate time. And now, we don't know if he has her crown or not, but we do know that he has orchestrated this timeline. And that everything in it, I'm assuming maybe he depowered himself, I'm not sure. But everything in it, he probably still has a huge control over. I would like to think that he created this timeline, inserted himself in it, it kind of depowers so that there's a balance to it. And maybe he learned that, one person can't have all that type of power within his universe. Maybe he didn't trust himself. He was just a mortal being a few timelines ago. Up under the god or titan level of power, we have the natural born characters who I would say have an affinity to magic. So far, we have Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and they have what's called supernatural abilities in their bios. If I'm correct, it's listed in Smoke's bio. They make a reference to Sub-Zero and Scorpion as having supernatural abilities while specifying that Smoke did not. We'll get to Smoke in a second. So, in the older timeline, a lot of characters from Earthrealm and Edenia had these supernatural abilities. However, if you were from Edenia, you were said to be children of a god or whatever, so you had a stronger affinity to magic. We don't know if Edenia is even in here, because if you're paying attention to the trailer and the things Ed Boon has said, what we thought was beautiful Edenia is actually beautiful Outworld. So we're not sure if Katana, Melina, Rain, and Sindel are still Edenians, or if they're just going to be Outworldians, I guess you can say, within this timeline. That being said, so far we know that Earthrealmers, like Sub-Zero and Scorpion, tend to have a natural born ability, a supernatural born ability. And that being ice, fire, and we'll probably see some more elemental based kind of things. And I don't think they're going to be limited to elements. But that's what we have so far. Now we move over to Rain. Rain was a demigod in the last timeline. It doesn't say anything about him being a demigod, but it just talks about in his bio within this new timeline that he's a powerful sorcerer or a mage. And for me, that's, someone who's tapping into the magic realm. It did not say that he was born with these abilities of water, with the rain powers and the portals and things like that, but actually tapping into the magic realm to do what he wants to do. And that he was so skilled at doing it, if you looked at the original bio that was taken down, it says he was so skilled at doing it that he impresses Sindel and Shao Kahn, who I'm assuming also have their own type of magic or power, like Katana and Melina, Sindel's daughters. However, apparently Rain is way more stronger than even them. So I guess tapping into the magical realm could put you above even someone with supernatural ability. Because I would also like to say on the conversation of supernatural abilities, those who are naturally born with it, I think Melina and Katana have this as well. Has not been clarified, but we see Katana still has her powers with the wind. We see Melina has the powers with the teleporting, and it's one or two things. Either they have the natural abilities, or they are like Smoke and Rain, who are using different items to tap into that magic. Now, Rain, I think he's not just using items. I think he just knows different spells and things like that. Like he's a full on kind of, I guess you could say, sorcerer. And so he knows all these different probably spells or whatever to tap into that realm. They might be using abilities or items to gain these abilities. Like I have not seen, I need to watch her gameplay again, but I do not recall seeing her have any type of power outside of using her fans. And Melina has always used her scythe to teleport with. And don't forget also Melina's kind of demented looking mouth of hers has something to do with the Tarkatan disease and not any type of power or anything like that. Now we move on to practical magic, smoke. I feel like Smoke and Rain are kind of similar, because I'm sure Rain uses relics and items as well. However, again, I think Rain will probably actually have spells, whereas Smoke, it says practical magic. So to me, that's going to be relics and items that either tap in to the magic realm or give the illusion of magic. And if you pay attention to the game, he has a lot of times where he's using his kind of sickle knife to cause smoke effects, and he has smoke grenades. And he's a ninja, so maybe he's disappearing within the smoke versus turning into smoke. Not sure yet. Or maybe there's an item he uses to turn into smoke. And obviously we will know more when the story comes, but that's the whole point of this, is just enjoying theorizing and breaking the things down that we have so far. So yeah, I would say Smoke is gonna, as it said in his bio, he uses practical magic. And if you look at that, like with practical effects in movies, it gives the illusion of this craziness that's going on. You know, it avoids CGI and gives the illusion that there's this huge dinosaur before you by just using animatronics. You know, it gives the illusion that there's this huge explosion going on by creating a small explosion and maybe amplifying the effects this way, that way, or the other. Same thing with blood effects, you know, gives the illusion of it by having something hooked up like a little blood hose, so it's spurting blood everywhere. But you did not have to use a CGI model to have that blood go everywhere. Instead, you use practical effects, something tangible. So I believe that Smoke will have tangible items. Maybe they're scientifically made, or at the very most, they might tap into the magic realm, but very lightly. And then I have on here spirit magic. So Kenshi, we already see, taps into his souls and spirits, and Sento taps into souls, and he has a spirit that he can summon to fight alongside with him. So I think that's in my head, that's a whole different separate category from like a mage like Rain, because it's something completely spirit based. And I think that's a different category than supernatural abilities, because he more than likely is going to gain this ability once he grabs a sword that's deeply connected to his ancestors' roots. I would say we don't know if these characters are going to be shown or confirmed. And right now this video is taking place before the 3 trailers that we're going to get at San Diego Comic-Con. Actually a couple hours before, so I'm not sure when I'm going to post this video. But I would say if Ermac, Onaga, Quan Chi, or Shao Kahn are in this game, they will also have a form of spirit magic. At least they did in the previous game. Ermac was made of souls. Onaga had the ability to resurrect his undead army. It was called the Undead Army because he always resurrected them. Quan Chi was a sorcerer from the underworld. And Shao Kahn had the green spirits and souls with him that he would, in energy, that he would utilize in battle. And then you have Ashra, Noob, and Serena, who are demonic spirits of sorts. Ashra is supposed to be a demon. Serena, or Ashra, if I'm correct, is supposed to be a demon who had a sword that kind of kept her from becoming one or changed her or something like that. Noob is like this demonic entity, much like Scorpion, the original Scorpion. And Serena is a demon. So their powers I would also categorize as spirit magic. And yeah, that's basically how I have it broken down so far. It looks like we're going to have, you know, Titan or God power, then natural born people, then people with natural born powers or supernatural abilities as stated in the bios, then mages like Rain and maybe a few others, then practical mage users like Smoke, and then spirit magic, people like Kenshi who can tap into the undead spirits and things of that nature. So this is really interesting. I can't wait to break down more of their magic system, their power system. When I was writing my own book, I did not want to have magic in my own book for religious purposes and how I feel about magic. However, I still had a power system. You know, it's just kind of coined as mage or magic system, but essentially is how your power scaling goes throughout your book. And it was a fun process to try to break down the different races and how they're gonna scale with each other power wise and how one taps into this power versus the other. It was a very fun time, and it could be a little stressful too. So I'm sure that the people at NetherRealm put a lot of thought and heart in coming up with this system. And like I said, it seems already more intricate than the previous timelines where it was just kind of meshed together and you could kind of pick up a few things here and there, but there was no real sense of power scaling in my opinion. You know, we had Johnny Cage's family energy, that green energy that was passed down to Cassie Cage, defeat Shinnok, who was not only from the underworld, or from the netherrealm, I should say, but also like souped up Shinnok as well. So I would say like back then the power scale was kind of all over the place, and I hope that they don't make those same mistakes in this new storyline, where you actually get a sense of, no, if you're this powerful, you can't be taken out by this thing. You got to have this, and you know, some real scaling going on. Anyhow, this is really fun. Love breaking these things down with you guys. I love you all's feedback. I thank the community so much for constantly interacting with my videos, and I wish that you all would also feel free to just comment whatever theories you have, opinions you have, whether you feel like the videos are good or bad, whatever helps me be better and growing in this community. Thank you all again for visiting my channel. May God bless you all's day, and I will see you all very soon with more videos. Take care.